Hey everyone, welcome back to Fireside Horror. It feels good to actually be able to say that again. So, I'm getting my voice back, and as you can see on the screen, if you want to skip the intro, go to the time listed above. But still don't have it all the way back yet. So, long story short, it's been, 5 weeks today, and yeah, I was in the hospital, heart stuff, all kinds of not fun things, but hopefully I'm at the end of that now and I can get back to making videos and talking to y'all because I am ready to ditch that AI voice and start actually being 100% involved with the videos again. Luckily, with Lethal Company coming out, I've been doing the compilations and things like that. I think those are going to stay to kind of break up the stories because I don't know how long this whole voice thing is going to last. That might help out in the future. So if you've been watching for the last month and a half now, thank you. I appreciate you. It's exciting. We're over 1,000 subs already. I didn't expect that, but yeah. So let's get into the video. So, if you did skip the intro, the reason I sound like I could not be less interested in this is because I lost my voice. But I'm here to talk about why Lethal Company. So, if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you've seen it by now. I mean, really, who hasn't? It's all over the place. If you're on any kind of social media, basically all I've been seeing is Lethal Company. So, that is interesting. It kind of popped up out of nowhere. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because someone had reached out to me and wanted me to play their new indie game. They were big on promoting it. I wanted to get it out to people, and I think they saw that my channel's been doing pretty well recently, and basically explained what it was, sent a link to the Steam page, and they were like, my game is going to be the next Lethal Company. And that made me want to make this video because I think that's really interesting that you can have a game that's just over a month old and you already have people saying, this is going to be the next version of that right after it got released. So I didn't end up playing that game because it was non-horror related, so it doesn't really fit the channel. But my channel actually started the same day Lethal Company released. So it's interesting because I think part of the reason why Lethal Company is so successful is because it's a passion project. It's one developer. I think they go by Zeekers. I couldn't really find a lot of information about them, but yeah, I think you can see by playing it that it's one person's vision and they kind of put it together. And if you look at their game updates and devlogs and everything, you can see that they actually care about it. I don't know if they ever expected to become rich off of it, because I'm pretty sure they did. But yeah, they really like it. You can tell playing it that a lot of thought and heart went into it, which is good. And sometimes I think less is more. So with a game like Lethal Company, if you have seen it, I've seen it a few times by now. It's out competing MW3. So it has a larger player base right now, and they both came out around the same time. So it's always interesting, and I always see people confused when they're like, there's this AAA game with all these developers and people behind it and millions of dollars put into it, and you have a less than a gigabyte game that looks like it could run on like an iPhone 4, have more players and be way more popular. And I think it's for all the reasons I listed before. People can really feel out when someone really has a passion for something versus an artificial team behind it that's getting paid to make something people are going to enjoy. And that's not, to say AAA games are bad or not good, and I haven't played MW3 yet, but I know I've heard some people enjoy it, so I haven't heard great things so far, but I know like MW2 is really good, and honestly, if Lethal Company came out last year when that released, I think it would have had the same effect. And again, it's because one, people can feel the difference, and two, accessibility is a big thing too. So when you have a game like Lethal Company going for $10 versus a game like MW3 going for what is it, $70 now? Um, a lot more people can get it. If you're like a little kid and you have like a laptop or something and you have to go ask for money to either get a $70 game or pay a seventh of that amount of money on something, I mean, it's obvious which one is more likely for you to get. And then at the same time, I mentioned that it looks like it could run on what an iPhone 4. Uh, Having a game with low requirements like that allows a lot of people to play it. Not everybody can afford a $1,500, $1,600 PC to run the latest game and be competitive. So having a game where you can open up an old laptop and run it decently well and play with your friends is important if you want to have a big player base and really reach the most amount of people. Obviously, a lot of AAA games are able to be on console to avoid that, but for these indie developers, you can't spend 6 months making a game by yourself with hardly any budget and go over to Sony or Microsoft and be like, yeah, just put me on the PlayStation Store. So, yeah, those are all the technical reasons why I think Lethal Company is doing so well. But what it really comes down to is the genre and the ability to play co-op. So, horror, obviously I'm biased, but it's a huge genre with so many things to talk about and do. And when you're creating an indie game, it's a lot, I don't want to say easier, but it's a lot better to go for scares than for, like a competitive shooter or, going for the best graphics or something like that. It's kind of the same deal as a platformer game, I guess, where you have this broad template and you can really fill in whatever pieces you want to put that overall puzzle together. So with Lethal Company, I mean, you have all the different monsters, you have all these different moons and settings, and they're interesting to explore, but the reason they don't get repetitive is because one, they come in different combinations, so it's always a different scare, and two, the co-op aspect of the game I mentioned. When you can play with friends and you can all experience all these different moments together, it adds so much to the game. I see a lot of indie horror games that are single player, and they get popular, but they almost always die out quickly because once you get through that initial solo run where you get all the content in the game and you see every scare, there's not a ton left replayability wise. There's only so many times you can get hit with the same jump scare and have it be effective, especially on a low budget or something without like a huge team behind it, like an Outlast or something, for example. So, yeah, I mean, that also helped the popularity aspect, obviously, because it's super easy for someone like me or someone on TikTok or other YouTubers to hop in a game of Lethal Company and hit record and let a million crazy things happen. It'll be interesting to see if the success stays, if there's updates, a sequel, if it gets even more popular, or if it fizzles out over time. I have a feeling it's going to stick around for a while. It's been really fun for me to play, and I mean, even just adding another moon or another monster could add so many hours of gameplay. But my voice is starting to give out again. I know this probably wasn't the highest quality video I put out, but it was nice to go back to actually speaking and saying something. So hopefully I keep getting better and we can get back to normal videos here soon. But thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you all in the next one.